Are we gonna both say it?
Say hey maniacs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Hey maniacs!
Woo, I was not prepared for that.
1, 2, 3. Hey maniacs! Yeah!
Woo!
Alright, tick, life goal accomplished.
Oh, you're the sweetest. You guys, I'm here with James Aspey and we're gonna do an interview and I'm so excited to finally meet you in person.
I'm so excited too.
Aww.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Henya is one of the first women that I ever saw on YouTube talking about animal rights, and she was so strong and passionate, and I always wanted to see this tattoo in person. It's like the coolest tattoo ever.
Aww.
It's so cool. So yeah, it's so good to meet you.
So James is here for the Vegan Congress, which is a conference in Israel organized by Vegan Friendly, and James is going to be a key speaker.
Yes, I'm speaking there and I'm doing a few speeches at some universities as well.
Awesome. So we shall be doing an interview today, and can I ask you some questions?
I would love to answer some questions.
Alright, so first introduce yourself, tell us what you're all about and all that.
Yeah, okay, so I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I got interested in animal rights after learning that we can live and thrive without eating any animals. I always thought we needed to eat meat to be healthy, and that animals are killed humanely, whatever that means. And then when I realized that they are sentient, feeling, emotional, intelligent beings just like us, we're animals too, I felt a very strong compulsion to, like a duty, to speak up for those who are oppressed and to stand up against the violence with my choices, first of all by going vegan, and then I took a 1-year vow of silence to raise awareness for animals, and I spoke for the first time on Australian live TV on a news show, and that interview was seen by millions of people. And since then I've just traveled the world giving speeches about, well, to people like at universities and things like that, just trying to inspire them to become vegan and realize that this is for everybody. Anybody can do this. It's easy, it's healthy, it's delicious, but most importantly, it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
It's also better for our health. It's also better for the environment. The list of benefits are endless. And I also travel giving speeches to vegans to try to encourage them to not just eat a vegan diet, like that's cool, but also to make videos or to create a vegan conference or to get on the streets and get active or to write a book or to open a vegan restaurant or whatever. Like just do something to help get this message out there so we can save more lives.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's who I am. I got tattooed for 25 hours. I've given 300 almost free speeches. Wow. And my thing, like you asked what my thing is, it's to reduce the suffering and violence in this world and to promote peace for all beings, not just certain beings. And that means disrupting and dismantling speciesism. Just like racism was wrong, white people couldn't see past the color of skin. And now we realize what were we doing? That was ridiculous. Like, I can't believe we hurt all those people just because their skin color was different. We do the same thing with animals. Just because they're covered in feathers or scales or wings or fur, we hurt them and we harm them and we kill them, and then we eat their dead bodies and it kills us. So it's about realizing that they are us. They are our extended family, just covered in something else, and we should treat them how we'd want to be treated. The core of it is discrimination just because they look different. They still got a heart and they still got a brain, and they matter. Yeah.
So true. And now for the questions.
Okay, yeah,
after these 7 minutes intro.
Okay, sorry.
So, what do you think about veganism in Israel?
Oh, well, I'm so excited that it's blowing up here, and this is like the biggest per capita amount of vegans anywhere in the world. Like, yeah. That's so epic. That's epic. And you know what? Yeah, well done. You're part of that. You're a big part of that.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, you are. Because there's a lot of ways that we can be active.
Yeah.
There's the hardcore ALF activists, and then there's the vegan friendly who are like, you know, doing more educational things. The ALF are doing more like full on, in your face sort of actions, and both is so important. So I like that there's such a good balance here. It's so awesome. Go Israel. Yeah. And that march last year with like 25,000 people. Whoa, man.
I know.
I spoke at that thing. I saw those people. I was like, oh God, this better sound good.
It did.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So what do you think is the best form of activism, like to veganize people?
Definitely education. Definitely education, in my opinion. People are good. You don't need to convince them that animal cruelty is wrong. They already believe that. They already think animal cruelty is a bad thing, and if 99% of people saw a pig getting punched in the face or have a cigarette put out in her eye, they would be over there and stopping it. So we don't need to convince anybody that animal cruelty is wrong. But what we do need to convince people of is that we don't need meat for protein, we don't need dairy for calcium, animals aren't killed humanely, there's no humane way to kill someone who doesn't want to die. We need to convince them that they matter, that fish do feel pain, and that all these lies, you know, all these mistakes that we've believed, like all these lies that we've believed are actually not true. So the education comes when we say, hey, you already have veganism in your heart, all that's left is for you to align your actions with your values, and you know, you're a peaceful, respectful, compassionate, loving person in 99% of your life, but in one area, who you eat instead of what you eat, and you know, the clothes you wear and the products you use, whether they've been tested on animals or not, that is a massive deal, and it's running in the direct opposite direction of you being a good person. Doesn't make you a bad person, just means that you have something to do to vastly reduce the amount of violence you as an individual are contributing to. It's about, like, you know, realizing the objections that people have. I can't do it, it's too expensive, I won't enjoy the food, and just showing them this is how it's cheaper, you're gonna save money, you won't enjoy the food, but look at this burger I had yesterday and look at this pizza I had the day before. Like, what do you mean? I think that's the biggest thing, educating. It can be speeches, it can be videos, it can be books, it can be conversations, and just helping people realize, oh, I do agree with this, I didn't know I did, but yeah, that is something that I should strive towards, becoming a, you know, causing less violence in my life. And I think majority of people are opposed to that, and if they see violence happening, they'll even put their own safety on the line to stop it. But then later in the day, they buy a bacon burger, and instead of, not only did they look the other way, but they actually paid somebody to stab an individual in the throat. And that is a massive, massive deal. Don't think it's just a burger, it's just a mundane food choice. No, it's not. There's a difference between someone living and someone dying. And animals are someone's. There's no reason people are like, they're not someone. What do you mean, man? Of course they're someone. They're an individual. They've got their own personality and their own family and whatever else.
So what are your thoughts about cultured meat?
Cultured meat?
Yes.
It's a really good question. I think if we can get meat without harming any animals, that's the best thing in the world.
Yes,
that's the best thing in the world.
Thank you.
People are like, but humans won't be healthy. I couldn't care less, man. I don't care. If people want to smoke cigarettes and eat meat that, the cultured meat, if that's going to make them sick but they want to, I don't care at all about that. Why would I? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So you've been pretty vocal about your past eating disorder on your channel. Absolutely. And what is your best tip for anyone who's struggling with an eating disorder? My personal experience with an eating disorder, I had bulimia. It started when I had cancer, and I started eating and eating and eating because there was nothing else for me to do. I wasn't allowed out of the hospital. I had a really strong appetite. So I ate to the point where I'd get sick, and then that stuck. I was a binge eater for many years, and then after that I realized, oh, if I throw the food up, then I can eat as much as I want and throw it back up and not feel as sick. And then that was a very, very bad thing to start, because I started doing that like 6 times a day, and it was like tearing me up, and it was this uncontrollable thing, you know, I couldn't control it. And the thing that helped me get past it, I'm so grateful, there's 2 things. One, I read a book called End Emotional Eating by Dr. Jennifer Tate, and what she told me was that I was an emotional eater. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just knew that I couldn't stop eating, and I'd eat till I felt sick, and then I'd be sick, and then I'd eat some more. And that was an emotional eating problem. And being a personal trainer for 8 years, thinking back on all my clients now, I'd say 99% of the people that had some sort of issue with food, whether it be eating the wrong foods or eating too much or eating even if they weren't hungry and all those things, it's emotional eating. So I would say learn about emotional eating. That helped me in a huge way. You could read that book by Dr. Jennifer Tate. That was the first thing that helped me. The second thing that helped me was meditation. But past the meditation, because I was an emotional eater, I would get like drawn to food. I'd be like, I'd smell it and I'd crave it. I'm like, oh my God, I really want that. You know, even if I wasn't hungry. And the meditation told me that the craving would come, but then if I just sat with it, even if it was uncomfortable, like, oh, I want that, but I'm not gonna have it, and I just sit and observe the sensation, it would pass. Maybe a couple of minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe half an hour, but sooner or later, that strong
pull towards eating food would pass. And when it passed, I'd get a little bit stronger because it taught me I didn't need to eat. I didn't need to go and binge eat. I could stop when I wanted to stop. And even though that sensation was uncomfortable for a while, it did pass. And then next time that sensation comes, it's a little bit weaker. It has a little bit less of a hold over you because you already know that it's gonna pass and you've dealt with it before.
Yeah.
And then you deal with it over and over to the point where it comes and you barely even feel it.
Awesome. I'm glad you're all better.
Thanks. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's so good. It's so tough, right?
It is, it is.
Yeah, and it's a really, the sad thing about it is so many people have so much shame around it.
I know. And would you say you have a particular vegan diet you follow, or?
I try to limit the oil I have as little as possible. I try to eat as much whole foods as I can. I'm not really interested in junk foods and that anymore. Sometimes I buy it just so I can show people how amazing vegan food is. And I try to eat more towards the high carb kind of thing. I eat oats for breakfast, I eat smoothies, I eat potatoes,
that was my next question.
Okay.
What do you eat in a day?
yeah, alright. So I eat oats with dates and chopped walnuts for breakfast. I might have like a green salad with avocado and maybe like some sort of beans on there or something like, I know. And for dinner, maybe I'll have like a sweet potato cut in half with some beans in there. Or I might have like sushi with avocado and tofu. Or I really love rice paper rolls. I'm like a big fan, big fan. But I don't know, like curries and pasta, yeah, heaps of good stuff.
Awesome.
I eat better now than I ever did in my life. What about you? Just curious.
What do I eat in a day?
I know you've got like 20 videos on it, probably 100.
200 maybe.
No way. What do you eat in a day typically?
I eat a lot of bread.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
Bread and hummus is my staple.
Oh, yeah.
What's the best tip you have for someone who's just starting out veganism?
Get educated. Well, I mean, first of all, get inspired. So watch the documentaries, Cowspiracy, Earthlings and Forks Over Knives. Then you learn the health benefits, the environmental benefits, and the ethical reason to be vegan. Learn that first and then join something like Challenge 22 where you get a mentor. They give you all the recipes you need, all the information you need. Get help. Like it's there, it's available, it's free. And that's all you have to do. Choose a few delicious recipes for breakfast, lunch and dinner. When your toothpaste runs out, get a vegan toothpaste. Don't go to SeaWorld anymore. Just go like surfing or chilling at the beach instead of watching enslaved animals perform tricks for you. And that's pretty much it. It's very easy. And get educated. Learn the answers to the most common questions you're gonna ask. What about protein? What about free range? What about grass-fed? If we don't kill and eat them, won't they kill and eat us, etc, etc, etc.
So what keeps you going when you're overwhelmed with horrific stuff that's going on in this world, and what keeps your activism sustainable? Okay, I'm really lucky because I get a lot of messages every day from people who've seen videos or read posts or whatever, and they tell me that I'm making a difference in their life. So that keeps me going because I feel that it's making a difference, and even if I feel really down, I'll still put out content because people are still watching and people are still reading and listening, and the seeds are still being planted. For those people who don't have as many people messaging them about that, you're still planting seeds even if people aren't telling you about it. It's still so important to put the content out there and to express your opinion, to help others, even if it's 5 others and not 5 million. So what? For those 5 people and for all those animals, that's vitally important, and every single person, every single conversation you have makes a difference. So that helps me feel like I'm doing a good job, and that makes me want to keep going. I'm so happy we're doing this.
Me
okay,
too.
we have like So what is the best city you've ever traveled to for vegan food? And if you're not gonna say Tel Aviv, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
Tel Aviv.
Yes!
But that's actually true. Everywhere they got, and all the stickers in the windows, it's like vegan options here, vegan, vegan, vegan everywhere.
Yes.
And it's epic. It's so epic. So I don't even need to get out the Happy Cow. I don't know if you know Happy Cow, but it's like an app that tells you all the vegan restaurants are around. I don't even get it out here. I just like walk, and like 3 shops down there's vegan food. I'm like, yeah, it's so good. So yeah, definitely this place is killing it.
And second best, just so
just
we're
let
not
me think.
biased.
Just let me think. Yeah, cool. Melbourne, Australia has got it going on. There's so much going on. There's so yeah. It's kind of similar actually. You guys better, you know, watch out. We're coming.
All right.
We're coming for you.
Awesome. And the last question.
Yeah.
I've been requested to ask if you are single.
Oh. I'm not single. You just missed out. You just missed out. Whoever asked that. No, I was single for 2 years, but then I met a girl at the UK vegan campout. Her name's Carly, And then she organized a tour for me in Canada, and we spent a lot of time together in that 2 weeks, and we actually fell in love. So yeah, and she's so cool, and she's really smart, and she's beautiful. Yeah, so I'm not single. Yeah. 2 tips, relationship tips. 1, don't settle, wait. Be the best version of you can be. And then 2, go to places, like do the things that you're passionate about. You know, I was volunteering my time to do free speeches in Canada. She volunteered her time to organize the tour for me. So like if you're doing stuff you're passionate about, you probably meet people at these things that are also passionate about that stuff. And yeah, and then you can like fall in love too.
Awesome.
Yeah, anyway, I don't know. That's my little tips. That's all I know. I know one more thing. One more thing. I learned the biggest lesson of my life in love recently.
Okay, teach us.
Okay. Okay, so you know when you look at someone that you're just freshly in love with her, and you're like, oh, like, God, I love you so much. You know how you do that? You know how you do that at first? Did you ever do this where you look at them and you're like, and you don't really feel the love?
Yeah.
Okay,
Story of my life.
Okay, right. I got a lesson for you, Henya.
Teach me.
And this is big, man. This is big. That feeling isn't love. That feeling is like you adore them. You think they're so wonderful and so beautiful. But love is when you know someone, you know them. Like you really get who this person is in their heart. You know them, and you know that they got flaws, and you know that in some angles they don't look that good, and you know that sometimes they annoy you or talk shit. But you want them in your life anyway, and you care about them anyway. Love, if it's real love, it's always there, even if you're really annoyed and like you know want to be on the other side of the earth as this person in that moment. Listen, man, we're doing an interview here, man.
I know, this is Israel,
this is not like a motorbike. We're just in the side of the sidewalk. What's going on here?
But what if you're scared of intimacy?
Okay, like what do you mean?
This is turning into a therapy session.
Who cares?
I'm scared of
bearing your soul with someone?
No, I'm scared of like what happens when that feeling goes away and you're like stuck in a house with a dog, and you know what I mean?
The commitment part.
Yeah.
Okay, don't commit unless you're sure. You have to have been through all these things. You have to know this person. You have to be able to be like, you pissed me off when you did this the other day. And even if it's something small, it's like, the way you looked at me the other day, like that pissed me off. You have to be able to be like, express that so that the person knows like how your mind works. And if they care about you, they'll try to avoid those things or help you get through them. Like this is me. Something will happen and I just close off. I'm like,
that's so
I go so cold. I'm like ice. I'm like ice. I'm like, ugh. What's wrong? Nothing.
Oh
Why are you asking me if something's wrong all the time? Nothing's wrong. Like relax on us. Yeah, like I'm always like that.
Oh my God.
But then I always learn, like if I just think, and sometimes I don't even know what's wrong. And then if I think about it, I'm like, do you know what's wrong actually? You did this earlier and that pissed me off, man. It's either a misunderstanding where she might say something and I'm like, I can't believe you just said that. And she'd be like, whoa, this is what I meant. I'm like, oh, okay, I thought you meant something else. Sorry, I got really pissed off. Or it can be, maybe she was annoying. Or maybe I did say something rude. Sometimes I'm just rude. I don't mean to. Sometimes I just say a joke and I'm like, well, that was really not funny at all. That was mean. And then I'm like, and it's hard because you have to swallow your ego and be like, okay, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry. And you don't want to look, sorry about that. Sorry, Henya.
It's okay.
You don't want to look bad to the person that you love. You want them to think you're the bomb.
Yeah.
But if you want them to think you're the bomb, that means you got to own it when you're wrong and be like, sorry, I'm shit sometimes.
Yes.
You still love me? And if they're like, yeah, you're like, fuck yeah, man. That's
yes.
Good. I still love you when you're shit too.
Listen to all you motherfuckers out there.
That's right, y'all. Oh shit.
Oh my God, this has been the best interview of my life.
Me too, Henya.
Yes.
I'm so happy we did this.
Me too. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. You're the best.
Yay. Thank you.
No, thanks, Danielle. I really appreciate it. You've done so much amazing work. You have spoke up for the animals just like how I would want to be spoken for if I was in that situation. And you pump out so much content, and you deserve all the respect and praise that the people who follow you give you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Oh. Alright, so thank you, James, so much for joining us. I'm going to leave a lot of information in the description down below, including his channel and Instagram, so go and follow James. And yeah, this is it for today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to press that thumbs a button, comment on it. Don't forget to subscribe to both of our channels, and I will see you in the next video. Love you guys. Mwah!
See you, maniacs.
Woo! Do a kiss. Bye.